everybody, I'm Heather Yates, welcoming you to a new edition of the Sheriff's 1043 show. As you can see, we are not in the studio today. Instead, we are on location in Lecanto at the Fire Training Center. We have an exciting show for you today, so don't change that channel. I want to reintroduce to you Ken Klamer, who is with Fire Rescue. How long have you been with Fire Rescue, Ken?
Well, with the Sheriff's Office just since October 1st, but with Fire Rescue and in fire prevention since 1982.
Okay, he's been doing this a very long time, and we're going to talk to you today about some fire prevention tips, particularly relating to holiday safety. That's why we're on location. We've got some cool things we're going to show you about the dangers of a live Christmas tree, as well as things that you can encounter when frying that holiday turkey. So before we dive into all of that, Ken, let's talk a little bit about this facility. What do you do here? What happens here at the Fire Training Center?
Well, at the Fire Training Center, the name implies, we teach the firefighters how to protect themselves, be able to prevent fires, and also be able to extinguish fires. It's an all-inclusive fire training center. Mm-hmm. We can teach apparatus operations, which we're currently holding that class now, hydraulics, firefighter 1 and 2, and the fire officer series also.
Okay, the different types of well, not equipment, but you have some buildings here, like the concrete building, tower. What happens in that kind of
Okay, in the tower that's off to my right and my back is the fire training tower. That's where we can utilize the theatrical smoke that smokes up the entire facility to where you can't hardly see your hand in front of you. Mm-hmm. And that's to teach the firefighters how to react to things, just by feel. Mm-hmm. There's also hose drills, taking the 2.5-inch hose or 1.5 or 1 3/4 hoses up in there and performing rescue operations and things like that. Mm-hmm. It can also be used as laddering for our tower, also for our ground ladders that are on the trucks. From there, we have our burn building, which is off to my right also, but that's where we can set a fire and teach them how to react in actual fire conditions. Mm-hmm. Of course, everything is done with very close supervision. We just don't throw them in there and hope they make it.
Right.
No. We practice safety every day, and we make sure that whatever we're doing is very safe.
Okay, how much during training, I know you've been doing this a very long time, how much of their training is focused on prevention? Because I know that's your passion. Prevention is your passion, and that's what we're going to talk about today. But how much of that is a part of their training?
It's a good part of their training. When they're going through the firefighter 1 and 2, there is a component about fire safety, fire systems, and things like that. However, because I've been doing it so long, I feel there's not enough training. Mm-hmm. If we have one fire in Citrus County, we've had too many. The best fire that I feel is the one that never started. Mm-hmm. Because whenever we do have fires, people get hurt, people sometimes die, and there's a lot of damage that occurs from that. So if we can have a more proactive approach to fire prevention, I think we could do better as a community.
Well, let's tell our viewers, we had a show recently about preventing fires, but let's recap some of the highlights. Especially today when we're so close to Christmas. What are some things that we can do during this holiday season to keep fires from happening?
Just practicing and making sure that our different things that come together can't start a fire. We talked on the last show about fuel, heat, and oxygen. Right. We separate any one of those components, we're not going to have a fire. So with that being said, keeping combustible material away from heat sources, that's a major thing. Like during holiday safety, we don't want to have our candles near our Christmas trees, have candles near our curtains in the windows and things like that. People using candles make me cringe anyway, but I understand, it's a holiday festive type.
Candles make you cringe?
Yes.
Oh my.
Anytime we have a flame inside of our house, it makes me cringe, and it makes firefighters cringe too, because that is a flame that could be uncontrolled very easily. Mm-hmm. An animal, a cat, they like to jump up on the couch or on a table or something like that. They can knock the candle over. Mm-hmm. So we need to be very cautious with open flames. when we go to bed at night, making sure all the candles are extinguished. During the holiday season, throughout the country, we have a higher incidence of fires that result from candles.
I have a tip for candle safety that my girlfriend taught me because I love candles. I love to burn them. Now, whenever I light my candles, plural, I count them
Excellent.
as I light them so that when I extinguish them, I make sure that number matches. Because, I mean, that has honestly happened to me. I love them so much.
Exactly.
I have them in different rooms of my house. I actually physically count them as I go around the house and light them.
Let's go one step further on safety. They actually
Right.
have battery-operated candles.
Those are boring.
Well, they still have the little flicker, so
But they don't smell good.
Yeah, I think they even started having some sort of scent that goes along with them. I don't know, but you know, those are things that we need to be cautious of around the holiday season. Unfortunately, this time of year is a time where historically we have more fire fatalities. I guess it's because we're inside more. You know, during the winter season, we're doing more things inside, and unfortunately, people get hurt and killed. You know, more so around the holiday season.
Now, is this the dry season? Like, are we in the dry season now?
We're starting to get in there now.
Do the holiday lights outside have any kind of an impact on starting fires?
They can. You know, if we keep fairly new holiday lights, we make sure that there's no frayed cords and we don't overload our circuits, they become more safe. But if you got holiday lights that have been stuck in your shed for the last 20 years and you've used them every year, it might be time to start thinking about replacing them.
Right.
And nowadays there's the new lights, the LED type lights. They draw less current, less electricity, and you can pretty much do more with those, where traditionally you can only use the traditional type lights, 3, maybe 4 strings together. With the LEDs, they draw such little juice, little electricity, you might be able to put 10, 15, or 20 light strands together.
Right.
So
But you have to have a fortune to buy those LED lights. See,
they're coming down in price.
Speaking to the consumer. All right, we'll be right back. We're going to show you just some safety tips to keep your Christmas tree proper so that it doesn't catch fire. Stay with us. We'll be right back.